How's everybody doing? It's October 10th, 2024. It's just after 6 o'clock. I just wanted to make a video for YouTube as an update. It's been about a week or so since I made an update. Last update I made, I actually got jumped. So let's get into that a little bit. I was just out going to a church that sometimes they leave out bread and stuff like that, so I went out to check and see if they had any, and they didn't that night. So coming back, there's like this little alleyway between a couple of apartment buildings, and I see these two guys, and I could tell that one of them was completely strung out, and of course they were interested in my bag. So I basically carry everything that I have when I go out in my bag. I got my laptop, all my charger packs, any the important documents that I have. It's a heavy bag, and the most important thing that's in there that I can't replace, like everything else is replaceable that I just mentioned. It's all materialistic shit that, yeah, I can replace, but the most important thing that I can't replace is in there's a small little zipper pouch that I keep my kids' first teeth in, first teeth that they've lost. They were with me both times that they lost their first teeth. So out of 5 years that I've basically lost everything that I've ever owned, I still have those teeth. And I actually thought a few years ago that I lost them because I was living I think it was in Ingleside at that time, and I come back to Hamilton for a court date, and somebody broke into my truck and fucking stole a couple bins that I had in the back of my truck, and I thought that the teeth were in one of those bins. It turned out that they weren't, so I've kept them always near me, and for that, I'm gonna fight to the death, because I can't replace those teeth. That's the only thing that I have. That's the closest thing that I have to my kids that I can't replace. So I had to do what I had to do. Not going to get into that, but I can tell you I was sore for sure. And I want to take this time right now to thank everybody that I reached out to and then heard this story on the past video. I want to thank you guys for reaching out and just asking how I was, because this bullshit's not easy. Most of you guys know that I stay out in a forested area, a creek. I call it King's Creek. I've just named it that. But I stay out here to keep away from all that bullshit, to keep away from the violence, to keep away from the drugs, to keep away from the alcohol. Because literally every time I go to Tim Hortons, that's what I see, right? So I stay away from it. I don't get myself involved with it. But that night I had no choice, and I had to defend those teeth. That's really the only thing that was going through my mind. Is that they're not getting these you're not getting this fucking bag. I don't care how strung out you are. I don't care what you think you can get value out of this bag from just it being on my back, but it's not happening. And yeah, so again, I want to thank everybody that reached out to me personally. I even sent that video to some people that follow me, and I didn't get a fucking word from some of these people. So that really showed me some true compassion from a lot of people that I know. You guys got my back no matter what. And I know that, my image obviously changed a lot when I started standing up a lot more to this and having more boundaries. And a lot of people, that threatens people, right? Because they're still living a lot of these lies every single day. And I'm not going to do that. So, that really was a realization for me that a lot of people are still ignorant to the truth. And unfortunately, selfishness really takes over at that point. And you can only blame that on media and, really what's going on within governments today. That's being fucking plastered everywhere. This whole divide and conquer thing is taking over. So that's really where I want to get into next, is this whole divide and conquer thing. because a lot of you know that, you know, for the past 5 years I've stood up to the family court system, and that's really the reason why that I'm in this position to begin with, is because, you know, I stood up to it, became an advocate about it, and then again, when I set these boundaries that, you know, you took everything from me, and regardless if, you know, the government really had any involvement in the first place, it doesn't matter. You know, I get a lot of people saying, well, you know, you shouldn't be blaming the government at all. I should, actually, because these things have been going on for decades. There's groups out there that have been operating for decades. I've been only going for 5 years, and I've had enough of it. So with a lot of people, you know that I stood up to this right away. You know, again, my story started in August of 2019 when I was falsely accused of everything under the sun because I would not abide by what a narcissist and what turns out to be my ex-wife wanted. And I hope her, I call this guy this all the time because you really are, bud, but I hope her simp of a boyfriend, because you got to be simple, buddy, not to be able to click all of this in. But that was her plan from the get-go, you know, was for me to not get back with the girlfriend and for her to eventually talk me into getting back with her, and you would have been gone. But that didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to. Again, that was her plan, and when I foiled that plan, then I got stuck in the position that I was fucking in, and she proved it time and time again. That's why I was exonerated of all these charges, and because of that, and because I stood up to it, then the focus was on that, which was not fair at all, because then they pointed the finger at me for standing up instead of pointing the finger at themselves for not taking just the simple accountability that you were wrong. And that is the biggest problem everywhere, all across the fucking board. Everything that you're seeing on social media about every single problem that's out there in the world is simply because people aren't taking accountability for what's going on, because they're monetizing off what's going on. And that happens within the family court system. It happens in every fucking single system that's out there. And if you don't stand up to it, it's never going to change. So a lot of people say, well, what are we supposed to do? You're supposed to get together and make a statement, exactly like they did in 22, which I was a part of as well, with the Freedom Convoy, you know, with the trucker convoy. You can call it whatever you want to call it. We called it the Freedom Convoy because that's exactly what it was. We should have had freedom to choose what we wanted to choose at that time, and that was being taken away when there wasn't proper research done on the vaccines. So this was about mandates. People stood up all over. There was fucking trucks that were coming in from all over. There was trucks coming in from the US. They stood up to this, and they got twisted. And then the Emergencies Act got used on their own citizens. And it was accountability that wasn't, still to this day, they can't take accountability for it. They want to fight it in court. But it was a Charter of Rights and Freedoms violation. Everybody knew it, but yet they still did it. That to me is invoking a civil war, is it not? Because you're literally breaking the laws that are supposed to be protecting us. And that was about us being able to freely speak and freely choose what we wanted to choose at that time. And that was being taken away. And it's still being taken away. I've been shadow banned through the ass. You all know it. My content used to receive thousands of views and likes on a daily basis. But ever since, obviously, some of my dates got closer to these rallies that we planned, and some of them did pan out, some of them didn't. But I freely gave the government my information for the 2020 rally that was supposed to take place on April 24th. But because of the fucking COVID pandemic, they shut it down. But I freely gave them my information, so now they use that information against me. And they flat out told me, they They didn't even hide it on when we did this just this past April. They didn't hide it. I posted the video on TikTok. It immediately got taken down because obviously then I was sharing personal information about the government, right? So they immediately shut it down. So that's why I actually created this Rebel account that I'm going to obviously post this video on as well, because this is the truth, folks. I don't give anything else. It is what it is. So what do we do about it? You know, our government's constantly lying. Like Trudeau constantly lies. It's a fucking soap opera. If you follow this stuff, and I tried to stay away from it for a long time, but once you start following it, it's a soap opera. Every single day. They're lying constantly. Like Trudeau lied about the SNC Lavalin scandal. He's lied about the We Charity scandal. He's lied about the trucker convoy and the Emergencies Act that he put on his own people. To me, again, that's a civil war act. All these cover-ups constantly. You're giving away money to countries to fund wars, yet you got people like me that are living in tents. There's tent cities everywhere, all across the country, not just in Hamilton, Ontario, where I am, but all across the country there's tent cities. Some of them are even worse. They're worse conditions. People are getting pissed off. I can't blame them. You know, that's why I stay out here. I keep my shit clean. I can understand the frustration that people are having. But folks, we have a government that's not doing shit. So, you know, they're the ones that you have to be focusing on, and you're not, because you're not seeing the proper truth out there, right? They're giving you a completely different reality, and it's not true. It's a false reality that they're giving you. Fox ETV just got thrown under the bus from now every single media outlet that because they got caught. You know, they got caught manipulating one of Pierre Poilievre's videos. And they had no choice but to apologize, but too fucking little too late. Like, this is what happens constantly. But yet then there's guys like me that, you know, we're making these videos and they're going to limit these videos because it's the goddamn truth. That's it. You know, and again, that's why I'm out here. Because again, I'm being targeted. So I can't stop it. I put myself on that target list. I fucking knew that it was going to happen. So, you know, again, I appreciate everybody that does tune into these videos, because I know they're not being widely shared and reached, even when people do share them, because it's coming from me, folks. It's not going to reach the limits, and I see that on TikTok all the time. I see people that share my videos, and these people, if they make their own videos, they're receiving thousands of views. Once they share one of your videos and you're already flagged, it's still not going to receive it. So, you know, I don't know what else to say except you got to just keep going, and we need these people to start standing up to this. Again, they want to say that the trucker rally was a failure, and, you know, they froze our bank accounts, they did this, they did that to try and prove a fucking point that they're the government and they hold the control. We had the numbers, and it would have done what it was actually, it did what it was meant to do. You know, we just had two people that went through a trial for over a year that they shouldn't have never went through, because it's already been proven that the government should not have invoked the Emergencies Act, but they did. It's not going to end, folks, unless we put an end to it. And that's all I'm trying to say. You know, again, these are not my doings. These are just reading into what the government's actually trying to do, is to divide and conquer, right? So, you know, enough of this daily soap opera. It is fucking out of hand. It really is. If you watch it, if you follow it, you exactly know what I'm saying. That every day it's a new lie. Every day somebody else is pissing on somebody else. Oh, now this coalition is now going to be formed, but now you got to abide by what we do, and if you don't, now we're going to call an election. This bullshit. Come on, folks. They're playing with our lives. This is what they're doing. They're playing with our lives, yet we're all broke. More than just myself, obviously, is in this situation. I'm not nobody special, right? I'm not, and I don't try to pretend like I'm special. Where there's a lot of people out there that they try and pretend that they're this fucking special person because they're doing something. Well, we live in a fucking day and age where everybody does something stupid. So I don't consider myself any more special than anybody else. I just give you guys the truth. I already know that the reach is gonna be tampered with. I already know this, but I still do it because it needs to be done. We need to get together. Regardless of what people want to say, whatever they want to think, let them just watch it then happen, because this has to happen. Otherwise, it's never going to change. The divide and conquer is real. They're not even hiding it anymore. This fucking government of ours in Canada is the laughing stock of like the world right now. We're like, I don't know, we're teetering with the States right now. Like North America is an absolute joke right now. Something's got to happen. And we're not seeing it happen. The conservative government have tried everything possible in order to get an election. They keep losing because this bullshit that, now we got other parties that are going to try and benefit from it, instead of actually just doing the right thing and letting Canadians fucking decide. Not these rich motherfuckers that don't care about us. Let the Canadians decide, because this is getting out of hand, like I said. So I'm going to stop it right there. Again, I appreciate everybody, for reaching out about what happened last week. As you can tell, though, I am okay. I'm a little bit fired up now, that I talked about it. And then, again, these are things that, and again, I don't want to seem, because I'm not, but I'm not racist or anything, but, one of these people that jumped me was an immigrant. So, this person is actually living on the streets when, like, why? So, it's fucking outrageous. We have to do something about it or it's not going to stop. So, enough of that. Again, appreciate everybody's support. I want to throw out a big shout out to two friends of mine that without them, I don't know what I would do. But they know my story inside out. They know exactly what I go through. They've seen all the documents. One of them has actually done a documentary. We're planning something else, hopefully in the future. Ron wants to come out here and document some shit. So first, I want to thank, Ron Montgomery for all his support, helping me out. Pretty much guiding me to not give up. And I want to thank my other buddy Keith. Keith's a good guy. He's gone through a lot of shit, petty bullshit from stuff that I hear every single day. And he's doing the right thing by standing up to what's right and doing what's right for his son. So Keith, buddy, keep doing what you're doing, man. Don't stop. You're a good guy. Never stop being who you are, man. So again, thank you everybody for your support. Follow my other channel as well, the Unfiltered Truth. This video is going to go on Father's Truth. This is part of the documentation process. But follow my other channel. I'll post that in the comments. I don't have much camera space on here, so I can really only limit my videos to about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm at the almost 17-minute mark now. I'm going to do a little bit of editing, but I appreciate everybody's support, and keep standing up for everybody out there that is standing up to this and actually doing something about it. There's one thing about talking and sharing a fucking meme, but actually doing something about it, showing your face, showing some emotion to what needs to be done, and then doing it. Continue doing what you guys are doing, because you guys are going to be the guys that are going to have to follow in what is really, I think, the only soluble solution. And I'm not going to mention that, but take it easy, everybody, and until the next update, stay unfiltered and stay truthful.